I've been married to her for 2 years now, and in the 7 years since we first met, everything has been perfect for me. When we first met, it was love at first sight, and as time went on, my love for her only grew deeper. Even my friends joke about how different I've become since meeting her. I used to be a rather cold, introverted, and tough person due to my upbringing and my time in the army. I never showed weakness to anyone, not even to her. But for 7 years, life has felt very good. I have a well-paid job, finally achieved financial stability, and am deeply in love with the woman of my dreams. I had thought ahead about the future and created a trust, putting all my assets in the hands of my best friend and sister, appointing them as executors. My friend had been through a divorce and had to split all his assets with his ex-wife, even though she had not contributed financially. So, I took this measure as a precaution against any eventuality. Although the idea of separating seemed unlikely at the time, before the wedding, we both agreed to sign a prenuptial agreement. The sole condition was that if one of us cheated, the guilty party would not be entitled to sole occupancy rights. In my country, this is a legal agreement. When she made this suggestion, I was surprised, as I never thought she would betray me. However, I accepted her request without hesitation. The first year of marriage was perfect. We were healthy and, thanks to my stable job, we rented a spacious and beautiful house, enjoyed life, traveled to incredible places, and met new people. However, things changed in the second year. I began working on securing an important client for the company. I admit my energy was completely consumed by this job. I explained the situation to her, and she understood since work was our main source of income. She had no intention of working and preferred to be a full-time wife, even though it was hard work. I did my best to make her happy and content. During these 6 stressful months, I often put my own needs aside to prioritize her, ensuring she never felt neglected or lonely. My daily routine included waking up early to go to the gym, making breakfast for her, going to work, coming home to prepare dinner, and then spending quality time with her before relaxing. This continued for 6 months until we landed the big account. To celebrate, I planned a 2-month holiday to her favorite place, Paris, so we could relax and relieve stress. The holiday was a wonderful experience. However, when we returned home, I noticed she had changed. She became distant and cold and kept checking her phone instead of chatting with me like she used to. I tried to bring it up several times, but she refused, citing personal problems and stress. So I let it go. This continued for 6 months until one day I attended an important meeting where the CEO was going to announce a pay raise. I was both nervous and excited because I knew my hard work and dedication would be rewarded. In fact, I was getting a 30% pay raise because I had secured that big client. After the meeting, I decided to take a few days off to celebrate. When I got home in the evening, eager to share the good news with my wife, I planned to surprise her. However, when I parked the car, I heard unmistakable sounds coming from the house. Someone was having sex. I thought I must have heard wrong because my wife had told me she was going out shopping with a friend. As I got closer, I recognized her voice. In disbelief, I took out my phone to record the scene, so I would have conclusive evidence. When I walked in, it felt like my world had shattered. I caught her red-handed, cheating with a stranger. The shock on her face was priceless. I recorded for a minute before the man, half-dressed, bolted out of the house, clutching his clothes in panic. My wife sat there wrapped in the sheets, completely silent. I was so stunned I couldn't even speak. I went to our bedroom to pack my bags, and she followed me, hurling accusations of cheating and claiming I was imagining things, completely absurd under the circumstances. It took me about 30 minutes to pack, and I left without saying much. As I drove away, a strange sense of relief washed over me. I stayed in a hotel for a few days, ignoring her relentless calls and texts. Eventually, I changed my number to cut off all contact. A few days later, I consulted a lawyer and explained everything. He assured me that, thanks to our prenuptial agreement, she wouldn't be able to take more than her rightful share. For months, there was no communication between us. During that time, I heard she had found a job and was barely managing to cover the household expenses. Eventually, The divorce agreement was ready, and she came to the lawyer's office with a smug smile, declaring she'd live off my money and never have to work again. My lawyer and I exchanged a glance before he placed the prenuptial agreement on the table. Her confidence crumbled as reality set in. She ended up with only half of what I had, as stipulated. She broke down in tears, begging for forgiveness, claiming it was a mistake, and insisting she still loved me. This went on for about 20 minutes before she reluctantly signed the papers. The settlement she received was only enough to cover 5 months' rent for our family home. As I left, she ran after me, pleading for another chance, repeating over and over that she loved me. But by then, I felt nothing but indifference. Now, I've moved on with my life. I've met someone new, and we've been dating for a few months. I'm happy again. My work is going well, and life has returned to normal. As for her, I heard she stayed in our old house until the money ran out, then moved to a small apartment near her new job. She tried contacting me again, but I never responded. I've let go of the past, and I feel absolutely nothing for her anymore.